All right, I think I screwed that up. I was distracted. What can I say? I was distracted by things that were happening in the lead up to the stream, and I screwed up the stream. So hello, everyone. I don't know if this is going to even get back to YouTube. Are you on Twitch? Is anybody on Twitch? Is the stream working? What the hell? Okay, is it coming back finally? Are we live? Are we live? Give me a thumbs up of some sort, because the stupid internet is breaking again. I have to remember to reconnect to the Wi-Fi every time that I start the stream up for some reason. Now I'm sweating profusely because of the number of mistakes I've been making. You hear, are we live? Yes. At least that's a sign of life that isn't completely screwed now. The rats are chewing the cables. Trev, I don't live in the kind of squalor that you would expect someone who has rats chewing their cables to live in. Okay, you gotta have some more faith in me than that. Good Lord. All right, look. Leaky sewer living. What are you talking about? Ooh, sorry for the bump. I'm just gonna let things get back to normal first. It looks like there is a stream on YouTube at the moment. Good God, man, what a pain in the ass. Okay, wow. All right, so my whole intro got screwed. So, like I was saying, I got massively distracted right before I turned the stream, and I forgot that I tweaked my audio device. By tweaked, I mean I touched the USB-C cable that comes into my laptop, and I heard the audio click, which means that the device got reset, and I already had, what's it called? OBS running, so it didn't catch the device coming back online, and that's why we started with no audio. Arno, nice to see you. Arno asks, did I miss something? Yes, you missed the thing that always happens, which is me screwing something up at the very beginning of the stream. Good Lord. Okay, anyway, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Flux Harmonic Live. I'm David Wilson, and we're back again with another Friday stream where I terribly screw everything up at the very beginning and embarrass myself in front of the 4 people who come to watch me every week. So thank you for being here to see me humiliate myself once again. I see 3 people on YouTube, so that means that there's somebody here on YouTube. I know there's some people on Twitch because that's like the only other way you can see it. So I imagine there's a couple people there. Music dead, alternate bed. It's not dead, buddy. It's just low because last time it was too damn loud. You want to hear it loud? I can play it really loud if you want. It can be really distracting. All right, hello to the folks who are here so far. I see Auntie Trev, Alexander. Let's see. Roger, Arnaud, alternate ved. Alternate ved is gonna DJ soon. Yeah, right. I mean, alternate ved knows how to make music, but I'm not gonna let him DJ the stream because he's just gonna end up trolling people. Because that's the kind of thing that alternate ved would do. I know I'm drinking from a System Crafters cup on a Flux Harmonic stream, but I'm also wearing a System Crafters hat, so what can I say? I'm just mixing up all my brands here. Thanks, David Will. Yeah, you're welcome, buddy. God, all right, so Yeah, what I was saying at the very beginning is it's been a busy week. A lot of work on, you can always count on my kind words, as I'm a very nice man. What can I say? It's been a long week. I've been working really hard on stuff again, you know, like the 15 different projects I have going on at the same time, because it's just what I'm capable of doing these days, because I don't write the code myself. So when you let go of the wheel and let the high cost token LLMs do all the work for you, which is not really the case, so I'm just gonna say that. You can do a lot of things, which is what I've been doing. So we'll talk about some of that stuff today. Too many things, actually. But really, unfortunately, there's not really been any progress on Slate, which you see in front of you, because this is exactly how I left the machine at the end of the last stream. So this is what it looked like then. But I haven't really worked on Slate. I fixed the bugs that we saw last week, but I haven't actually synced it on this machine yet. We might try to do that if I'm feeling lucky enough after all this. But it really isn't anything significant. It's really just like a couple of rendering issues and key binding's not working correctly. But that, you know, it was a quality of life issue the last time, so it might be something I try to pull in if we try to do some coding later. What else? I don't know. Like, I'm basically just still trying to deal with the consequences, I guess you could say, of the recent announcement of Codeberg that they don't want to have people doing mostly LLM authored projects on their site, which is totally fine. Twitch is dead. Don't say that. Come on now. Don't mess with me, all right? Because I already got enough problems here. Look, I'm going to make the music louder, and then you're going to complain that it's too loud. So it's going to be too loud now. Tell me. I'm struggling to Guix pull on Codeberg today. That's true. That was a thing that was happening earlier. Codeberg was having another outage for a little while. I don't know if they were having like a DDoS and they turned off the site for a little bit. Peter says Emacs is dead, for me at least. That's a good point. I mean, Emacs has been dead for a while now, right? But ironically, I've been spending a lot of the week trying to get Emacs to build from Sigil, so it's not really dead, I suppose. Apparently, Guix is vibe coded and they're taking it down. Well, only the recent proposal by Dave Thompson to allow vibe coded package definitions to be put into Guix, which was totally sarcastic. Claude, stop it. Claude should stop it. Should stop everything. Okay. What was I saying? Is it really loading, Auntie? Tell me the truth, all right? I need to know if we're having issues here so that I can try to do something about it. Peter says, I found a new way to hang myself in a catch-22. How's that? What happened? I'm going to Twitch myself. Not because I want to hear myself. Okay, Twitch works. Thank you, people, for not gaslighting me the way that Auntie's doing right now. Thanks, Auntie. You hear music now? Okay, good. Thank you. Is it too loud, though? Because it will be too loud. All right. So, as I was saying, Codeberg has decided that they don't want to have projects that are LLM authored, which is fine. I'm hearing that Twitch is good. Thank you. It's fine. I mean, I understand they don't want LLM authored projects because of the load on the servers and the questionable copyright legality and everything else. Whatever. That's fine. Okay, so I'm taking my ball game somewhere else, and I decided that it's time for me to try to set up my own infrastructure for this. I mean, the most obvious thing to do would be to set up a Forgeo instance, which is basically the same thing that Codeberg uses. I mean, if you've ever been to Codeberg before, which I'm guessing you probably have if you've watched one of these streams, because I've probably sent you there for various reasons. Codeberg.org/sigil/sigil is the home of the Sigil project on Codeberg. I mean, normally a code forge looks like this. It looks like GitHub. Like if you ever go to a GitHub repository, like let's say GitHub davidwill.files, it's the same thing. So you basically just end up at a page that's got like a file browser and, you know, some buttons, way too many tabs, way too many this and that. all kinds of clutter on the screen. It's like an application. Okay, that's great. I mean, if you're going to be working there all day, maybe it makes sense to have a user interface like that. And I could have that too, because this software here is free and open source software. I suppose it's free software. I don't remember what the license is. But I could have that on my own server if I wanted to. But I thought, you know, if I'm going to bother trying to set up my own server for something like this, would I just use something off the shelf, or would I see if I could do it a little bit differently in my own kind of way, and see what comes of it? So part of what we're talking about today is what I did along those lines. And then we'll also talk about like kind of the broader picture of what it is I'm trying to do, which is, you know, the Codeforge is one aspect of that, but there's like a few other things that are happening in tandem that are all like very, I'm trying to think of the right phrase to use for this. They're not fully baked, okay? A lot of things that are not fully baked, but over the course of the next few weeks, they will be quite baked. They'll probably be over-baked. And as Trev liked to call me earlier, what did you call me, Trev, in the chat? Hey, Amovadia. Big Edie. I thought it was a 420 at the end of your name. I was about to say, what's up with that, man? What'd you call me? Scope Creek David Willhead. Probably a lot of things. No perfect forge available unless you host and code one yourself. Well, mine's not going to be perfect either. I don't really care. Biggie says, this music, it's an interesting change. Yeah, well, it's intermediate because eventually I'm going to make my own music to put here, but I just haven't done that yet. Eventually we'll do it. Yes, lame Radiohead joke. That was a really lame joke, Trev. Give me a break, man. I laughed. What can I say? Sigil creep. Okay. Maybe I am a bit of a creep. Certain people may have opinions on that. I don't know. Untangled. Untangled meaning you're back in the IRC? Okay. Does Sigil support SaaS applications now? Yes, in like 2 or 3 different ways. So you want to get your SaaS on, then come on down to Sigil land. You can get your SaaS on. Unless you mean SaaS, the style sheet language, then no, you can't do that. Okay. Anyway, so I guess there's really no point to beat around the bush. Sassy, yeah, it supports even sassy apps. Well, I mean, what would you classify as a sassy app? Is it one that has an attitude in the error messages so that it basically insults you whenever you get something wrong? That does sound like something I would write. We need more sass in software. I'm guessing you mean the personality trait SaaS and not SaaS like software as a service. Maybe. Okay, anyway. So yeah, I wanted to try making my own Codeforge. And let me be specific what I mean by Codeforge. It's a place on the internet where you host your source code so that other people can come look at it and then they can maybe contribute to your project, or maybe at least file issues as a user of your project, or maybe at least just follow the progress or status of the project. So I'm taking a slightly different approach to what that is. And you'll give me your feedback on it. And also you should give me the feedback on the name, because it's totally like one of those things where I come up with a name and like a day later I'm like, I don't know if I like that name so much, but I'm just going with it for now. So it's Azoth Works right now, okay? It may be something else, and if I had a way to make a poll in the chat, I would actually bring it to a poll, but I probably wouldn't take any of the suggestions that you make, because it's usually the way I roll. Anyway, the idea is that this is really more of a self-hosted thing. I wouldn't expect that a lot of people would try to like have all their Azure 365, thank you, Trev, have all of the projects in one, a bunch of other people's projects in one place. It's more of like a thing where I'm kind of having my stuff all in one place. Just bring Azazel right away. You mean like are you like a demon or something? What are we talking about? So I want a place where I can put my projects and kind of group them, right? So this is what I've got here. I've got Sigil, Slate, Kiln, Docket, and Docket is basically the the thing you're looking at right now. Azoth is like the name of the site, but the actual project that makes this UI is called Docket. If it has the uptime of GitHub, it would be more Azoth 69. Well, this is a statically rendered website that's being hosted on Cloudflare R2. So this should be a lot more stable than GitHub or Codeberg because it's static pages. Now, because it's static pages, that means there's no dynamic behavior. You're not going to like drill through every single commit in the history of the repository. But that's really not the point, because if you're the kind of person who's going to come to one of my repositories, probably you know how to clone a damn Git repository and go open it in your Git client or your editor or whatever. So why would you bother like trying to dig through commits and files on a website? What is that little logo? A pepper? I don't know what that is. Like a little heart pepper thing. What do they call that? Claude came up with that. Meaning from a girl. So this is what happens when you put this in. It's like, some girl sent this to me. What does it mean? This is a nice red, you mean like a red hot chili pepper? Is that what you're asking me? I know you're gonna try to get there, so you might as well just get out with it and tell me what you got to say, buddy. It's used to embellish text, letters, and book chapters. Acts as an old style break between paragraphs or sections, serves as a fancy list marker. Basically, it's like a typographic flourish, is what I've been told, okay? So, it's a typographic flourish that was used by typesetters way back in the day whenever people actually, you know, stamped these things out by hand or whatever, before there was the printing press. I don't know, man. I didn't come up with this, all right? It was there and it got used. Auntie says, great dark mode. Thank you, Auntie. And it actually changes with the sigil of approval. It changes with the color settings of the browser. Can I actually do that with DevTools? Can DevTools make it light mode? Is it possible to do that? Can you force light mode? Light! Let there be light. Hey. I don't want the freaking DevTools to be light color. I want you to make the damn page light color. What's happening? Probably, but why? I'm just trying to show that it works. Anyway. Auntie says the chili logo is bigger than the issues link than the main logo at the left. I don't know, man. These are good bits of feedback, though. You should tell me all the things that you see. Thank you, Alternate Vet. Anyway, okay, so you got the main page here that's got all the groups of projects. Okay, sure, whatever. That's a nice looking page. It doesn't really have much to it. Go into the sigil project. This is going to be the place where all the repos. Can I click on the damn page, please? What is the fucking link here? Sorry for the F-bomb, but like at some point, you know, you click a box enough times and it doesn't do something and a little frustration builds up. I don't really want to run G settings right now, but yeah, I gotcha. Nice redirects. What is that link? I'm going to get hacked by my own repository link on the other screen. What is this? You must be clicking around. So, anyway, the repositories are listed on the main page. Basically, you get the project in general, like what the latest version of the overall project is. Like in the case of Sigil, which is kind of like, there's a main Sigil thing, which is the CLI that comes from the mono repo, but there's also a bunch of other projects that are a part of that. Now, the full project list is not here right now. I've kind of just like set up. Yes, I'm sorry, Big Edie. Why did that get put on the screen? Flux Harmonic is NFSW now. Well, I mean, I don't mean to use the F word, but it happened. So, not all projects are here yet. This is more of like a demo render of the page, but all of the repos will be listed here. Not in this spot. Maybe the most recently updated repos will be on the main page here, but there will be a full repos list. In fact, if you go, my left mouse button is not working. Repos. There's actually a full list, and they will be grouped by project type. Use Twitch, Big Edie, because YouTube is far behind. So anyway, the list of repositories, then there is a feed across all of the projects, which is kind of interesting because what it means is that you can see what's been happening for all the repositories across a project. So you can see there's commits happening in Sigil JSON, Sigil ARG, Sigil HTTP. Markdown sigil itself. So if you want to kind of keep an eye on what's happening across the projects, you can actually just go to this one page. In fact, there's an Atom link here. There's basically an RSS Atom feed. This one doesn't have stuff in it because there's no releases or digest in here yet. But there's a feature called Digest, which is basically like an occasional, you know, this week in. I saw that. There's an occasional this weekend sigil digest that might get posted up here, or Slate or anything else like that. Basically just like a generated digest. Are you planning to SaaS it, a second source hut? No. I don't think so, because it's statically generated. You think I'm going to make a statically generated hosted website for all the people? I don't think it's going to work too well. I would expect that people would host this themselves. So there's a couple different ways to look at this. One aspect is that it's statically generated, which means that you, as a person who has repositories that you want to like host somewhere, you could, in theory, statically generate this and host it on GitHub pages or source hut pages or Codeberg pages, or, you know, some web host or whatever, without having a dynamic backend, which is kind of nice if you want to do that. If you want to have nice looking pages to talk about your projects. So that's one thing you could do. There's something else here that does have dynamic backend that's not hooked up right now because the actual server that's running all this stuff, or at least not the pages, but the backend. This week in sigil tooling, Twist. That's not a bad idea, Peter. It's not up yet, but the idea is that you click on this and it doesn't 404. It takes you to a page with a form, but it lets you file an issue or a feature request without creating an account. So basically, you would see a CAPTCHA probably using twist that twig. We're not going to do that. A CAPTCHA using Cloudflare Turnstile or something like that. Anyway, point is, a person should be able to file an issue without Twist and Slate is not stuck in my head. Yeah, I know, right? Should be able to file an issue or feature request without creating an account, because who wants to create an account just to file an issue? Okay, sure, that's like a spam vector or an abuse vector too, but I think that there's probably ways to deal with that. You should also be able to accept in proposed changes or issues or feature requests by email, which would be another thing that would work on here, which we haven't actually got set up yet. There's even a CLI for Docket that allows you to file bug reports against a project. And I think even the Sigil CLI will have like a Sigil bug subcommand that will allow you to file bug reports from within Sigil itself. Slate would also have the same thing, where in Slate you would be able to click a button and file a bug report. I think that's better, because then at least when people actually decide to use the crap that I'm making, if they decide to use it, at least I can get bug reports and then track them in an interesting way. Unfortunately, I don't have any issues in this test page because I haven't gotten that far yet, but that is kind of a big part of all this. What I wanted was a way for people to file issue and feature requests easily, because based on the way that things are going, especially with the way that I'm developing projects these days, there is less emphasis on collaboration or taking pull requests than there is on like just taking issue reports and feature requests, because the agent is just going to go and do that stuff anyway. So why even bother, you know, like contributing to a project with code? I mean, people can still do that and should do it if they want to. I'm not going to say no to contributions, but I think that in a large part, it would just be like people saying, hey, this doesn't work for me. Or maybe they would have a suggestion for how something should work differently, and then it would just get implemented. All of the actual storage of the log of everything and the issues and the change requests, etc., is stored in a Git repository. So like an actual Git repository stores all this information. Why would I bother doing that? Well, one reason is because it's easy to clone it between machines. Like if someone could actually clone the record of all the stuff onto another machine and act on it locally if they wanted to, or mirror it somewhere else or whatever. I mean, it's something you could do. I don't really know if any of this is going to pan out to be useful yet, but it's an experiment at least to see how well it works. You can click through on the commits. It will tell you what files changed. We don't render diffs yet, but eventually we will, probably, if I can do it in a way that isn't ridiculous. There is a way to look at the source tree, but right now it's not wired up to where you can actually go to /tree and see all the file listing. You actually have to go through like readme.md/, and then it will pull up the file listing. So it does have a way to render the code for the project. Though I don't really know how useful that is. I mean, it is sometimes useful to be able to go and refer to line numbers in a file, or even look at the source of a file somewhere. But, you know, depending on how large a repository is, like the sigil monorepo, with how many files that it has in it, it becomes a kind of a big job to statically generate the whole site. So you would have to have a smart caching approach, maybe. LLM mailing patches for LLM maintainers. I don't really want that because, I mean, it works, but at the same time, you have, I mean, okay, I don't look at every single line of code that the agent makes for me, but I'm definitely not gonna look at every line of code that someone else sends. So like, it feels like it's more risky to take PRs from random people that way. I would take PRs from Trev and Glenn, because they have sent me PRs before, but I don't know if I would take PRs from any random person who just drops by. So, yeah, PRs are not like a big thing in this whole system, okay? More just bugs and feature requests. That's the main thing I'm looking for here. And there's also a built-in search, so A. Okay, you can see like what commits have A in them. Okay, so relock. All right, so there is some like client-side filtering and whatnot. PR agent coming soon. That's a different meaning and a different time. Anyway, it's not the full thing yet, but it is gonna be kind of live soon. I mean, this is live obviously, but it will actually have all the repositories, and you'll see actual behavior or actual activity here, and you would actually be able to file issues. Actually, pretty much all the main projects that I have will go here. Now that I actually have the ability, I keep saying actually, god damn it. Now that I have the ability to have control over the namespace of organizations or projects, I'm going the actual sigil hub. That's right. Now that I have the control over the namespace of orgs and stuff, I can group them however I want. So system crafters projects will be here. Other kinds of projects we've been working on in the past will be here to group things together. One of the cool things about it, what that's cool to me anyway, is that each project can have its own theme. There's a preset set of themes. They're all meant to work together so that when you see them all kind of next to each other on a page, they seem like they go together, you know? But you go into a subsection of the site, it has a different theme, which I think kind of looks nice. Auntie says, is message of the day invited to the party too? Maybe. I don't know. It depends on whether people want to do that or not. I haven't written it yet with an eye towards other people's repos. For other people to have repos hosted here, I'm not sure exactly how that would go yet. But it's something to consider if people wanted to. So, I don't even know what PR stands for. It's probably something yucky. I'm not going to read that. You stop saying things like that that make it come up on my screen. I'm going to have to ban you from the chat, Trev. Anyway, okay. I've rambled a little bit about this. Thoughts? Tell me how much you hate the name Azith. Azith. Azith is an alchemical term, which is basically like the universal solvent, or the, what do they call it? The essential agent of a transformation. So, you know, I'm transforming thoughts into slop here. So it is kind of an alchemy of sorts. Trev says, please ban me and release me from my addiction to this chat. I'm not going to help you like that, buddy. Yes, Auntie is pulling it up right. Azith is universal remedy or potent solvent sought after in the realm of alchemy. So I don't know if it's any good. I was trying to think of domains that are available, and you know, these days it's harder and harder to find domains that are available because everybody's just buying up domains for whatever weird half-cocked projects that they come up with, like me. So I don't know. There's also crafter.works that could work, but you know, that kind of ties it back to system crafters a little bit. So I'm still trying to find a way to make it unique, cool sounding, and useful, you know. Did I say hi to Appenzell? Hi, Appenzell. Maybe Azith is cool. The mascot should be an old wizard. Yeah, maybe. An old wizard with an ascot for Azoth. Maybe this is an ascot. Now that you think about it, you know, it's not a pepper. Anyway, yeah. It looks cool, all right? And I will say, the LLM did not just poop out this this nice looking design. I told it what to do. Okay, it picked the fonts and it did a little bit of the layout stuff like this thing on the sidebar or whatever, but I told it that I wanted it to not be like GitHub or Codeberg. I want it to be more minimal and kind of typography focused, okay? Because that's kind of more my style. I prefer more minimal pages and designs, and I think it turned out pretty damn good. I like it. So I'm gonna keep going with at least with the design of it. I just need to, the thing on the sidebar is a little bit unreadable. It could be fixed. We'll have to see. But I mean, it's unreadable to you actually, because I haven't zoomed in the page, but maybe you're looking at it on your own device too. So yes, that is at least the front end of the CodeForge. The information provided there. Give me more feedback. Monty says, it'd be nice to extend the format a little bit because it's too centric and you're wasting tons of real estate space. I like that. I like that it is centered and it wastes a lot of space because I don't want it to be super dense. It might need to be tweaked a little bit, but still, like I kind of like it at the moment the way it is. The logo should be a potion that we could drink. Turn the LLMs off. Maybe the potion will turn your brain off, and then you won't have to worry about the LLMs. Need one of those. So anyway, that's the. I don't see immediately info about cloning the repos. It's kind of buried. Look, it probably needs to be higher. It's right here. Clone. Now I don't know that. Oh, okay. It's giving a link to Codeberg right now because we're still migrating things over. That you will be able to clone from the HTTP endpoint of the website. The idea is that you would be able to clone from HTTP. However, I do have a different Git endpoint, but that's not going to be for general use. It's more going to be for maintainers. So whoever is a maintainer, like me, would have SSH access to the backend, which is git.azoth.works right now, or Azoth, however we pronounce it. And that actually gives you direct access to the SSH for the repos, kind of like how you do with Codeberg or GitHub or whatever. But that right now is not open to everyone, and it won't be. Chris says, I'm going to apply to be a maintainer. Yeah, so you can help me ruin this thing with all the slop machinations. So, the pay isn't good, but it's dishonest work. Yes, it's work that's bound to piss somebody off. So what else? Do I have the other repository somewhere? I don't think so. Anyway, so to take a step back and talk a little bit more about what I'm trying to do. Okay, I've got this site. I've got my own way to get access to my repositories via Git SSH, okay? Are there any tiers available? What do you mean tiers? You mean membership tiers? Or tiers like the ones that I'm gonna be crying later when the stream is done and everybody's made fun of me for my website? So, that's all good, right? But I also need CI. Like you have to pay for the service. Well, I mean, you're not gonna pay for this. Why would you pay for this? Why would anybody pay for this? This is not the thing to pay for. There is also CI, okay? So I bought kind of a ridiculously beefy server on Hetzner. I don't know if you know about Hetzner server auctions. You ever heard about this before? I just learned about it this week. I didn't know that it existed. But apparently on Hetzner, they decommission dedicated servers. And some of them have pretty good configurations. And whatever price you see on this website right now is like what you pay for it per month. And the longer that they stay on the site, the more the price goes down. So if you're a person with actual patience, you can wait for a while and see if the price goes down for the server that you want. I don't have patience, so I just bought the one that I saw that was the best. which is basically a server that has 8 cores and 128 gigabytes of RAM, which is complete overkill. But I do want to run CI jobs on it. So that's kind of the reason why I wanted one that was that big. So Kiln, which I've talked about before. Let's see. I've got this server up that is kind of the one that I was using for development, but Kiln is my own CI server written in Sigil. And it's kind of like, it's made a lot of progress. I haven't been using it a lot yet because I keep bouncing between 15 different projects, so it's kind of difficult to get back to it. But this is going to actually be hosted on the same server as AZithWorks, ci.azith.works. And that will be producing like all the release builds for everything. There's another responsibility will be to publish outputs of Sigil packages to the registry that's coming up soon. So there will be a package registry for Sigil that's not just like Git repositories. There will actually be precompiled outputs of packages that make it faster for you to pull the dependencies of Sigil projects. So something needs to build those whenever new releases are published to the 100 repositories for the Sigil project. So CI will be running there to publish those. They will go up to the registry, and then people will be able to pull the latest versions of things. I had to do this too because I can't use Codeberg as a place for my ecosystem to live anymore. So it's either have the Git repositories hosted somewhere, which I could do if I wanted to, but I decided to do something different, which is to have an actual... What? Twitch down? Don't tell me that. Seems to be up to me. Anyway, the CI will be building this stuff. So I basically end up having my own full forge in the sense that there's multiple things that kind of come together to make it. So there's the front end that you see here where you kind of follow all the projects. There's the back end that has like the actual Git server. There's the CI system that does normal CI. There actually will be CI status listed in these projects. Like when a commit comes in, you'll see the CI status come up on these. 120 gigabytes is huge. Yes, I could probably run some LLMs there. I don't know, maybe not. And it's only 70 USD per month, which is insane. I mean, yeah, it's a lot, but it's actually not so much compared to what you expect. So I'll have CI that is able to publish package outputs and put them on the package registry, which is cool. So that's kind of, you know, the parts that are related to Sigil itself. Also, Sigil releases will be published up to the registry, so you can download those from there. So any of the releases of Sigil CLI will be downloadable from there. Now, there's also the new Sigil Env stuff, which is coming along pretty well. I'm basically making Guix, but I'm starting just from the like Guix shell and Nix Flake kind of interface or experience, let's say. So I'm starting from there, but the registry will also end up including programs that have been compiled using this model. Slopix, thank you, Alternate Vet. That's a great name. I think I'll use that. Anyway, the idea is that if you want to pull in native dependencies and you don't want to have to depend on, you know, the package manager of the distribution that you're using or Mac OS or Windows to have the thing, because I will support all 3 platforms. It makes sense to have the ability to build native packages and programs that are dependencies. So I'm kind of experimenting a little bit with that to see how it goes. You know, people are having kind of a fit over in the Geeks land these days, which makes sense, about, you know, letting LLMs write package definitions. I'm just gonna, you know, lean into it and see what happens. It may be a terrible idea, but I don't know. Like, I'm just having fun experimenting with things, trying new ideas. The model that I'm using is inspired by Guix and Nix, but also it's different. It's unique in its own way. I'll have another stream at some point where I'll talk about that in more detail when I can actually show you how it works. Off with his head. Yes, thank you, Trev. They're gonna decapitate me for rewriting free software projects. So Guix and Flakes, but in Sigil, yes. Do I have an example of that somewhere? If I push the code to Codeberg. There's another thing I could tell you about too, which is ridiculous, but give me a second. Moment of doubt, and almost started writing Nix last week, but the fever is gone now. Maybe it's a good thing. Let's see. Oh. Uh-huh. Did it add it? There we go. Good job. All right. So, let me go to Codeberg to look at this. Do I have examples in here somewhere? In test, let's see. Fixtures. Project. No. Where was it? I guess there's one in the main sigil repository folder, but it doesn't. It's not really like a good example. Interesting that it has workspace v1 like that. I didn't know that it did that. But anyway, for a Flakes-like experience, the idea is that you would actually have the ability to define a project and build tasks for the project, and also environments for the project. I don't know. Let's see. What was the other one that I had? Was it Slate? It had a project that can you load? Now I'm wondering if my internet's going out because it can't load the damn Slate repo. Where is it? Thank you. Project.sigil. Yeah, you can have an environment that defines a set of packages and some other things. Anyway, thank you, alternate bed. Anyway, it's sigil syntax, similar ideas, but it's going to be a bit different in execution. I don't want to go into details on that right now because it's hard for me to demonstrate because the package definitions are still not there yet. There is a core channel. So there will be channels. Where is core packages, editors? Anyway, there's like package definitions and everything else. There's Vim has been packaged. Emacs has been packaged, but not everything works yet. There's a lot of stuff that isn't turned on, but you can actually build Emacs with Sigil right now. And it's done in a way where it gets put into a store. So the whole point of bringing this up is that it gets put into a content addressable store, and the Sigil package registry happens to be a content addressable store. So that means that Sigil packages and programs can both be, and libraries can all be installed from the statically published store that's for Sigil. There's like a whole unified thing going on here. I know it sounds ridiculous, but eventually it will make sense, I think. I don't know if I can show you the shell thing, though. But I got accused of rewriting Babashka today, which is actually true. I am sort of rewriting Babashka. It's not in here yet. It hasn't been merged yet. Okay. I didn't think so. All right, anyway. What are we talking about in the chat? More pain, more gain, right? For geeks? Yes, of course. Live demo of which? Flakes, but not flakes, but also flake parts and also dendritic patterns. Yes. Hallucinations of a madman. I must be on drugs. I guess this is just the AI psychosis talking. And imagine this. I'm going to be on vacation for 3 weeks. And 2 of those weeks, I'm just going to be sitting around a lot of the time. I think by the time I get back and I do a stream again, it's going to be kind of like light years ahead. Thank you, alternate vet. Is this the new thing? Is this the new meme now? There's no audio. You're still live, David Will. The shell, is it called AI? No. So I'm not making bash. Okay, I'm not making a shell that you can go into. Okay, I'm making a shell scripting library. Update message of the day before you go. I'm gonna be on the damn IRC anyway, dude. It's a shell scripting library for Sigil that makes it better than writing bash scripts for a lot of things. Because I was writing, Claude was writing a lot of bash scripts and was getting a lot of things wrong. I'm like, well, I got a better language than bash. Why don't you just write this instead? And it created a library that actually makes it kind of nice to write shell scripts in Sigil. Janet it? What does that mean, Janet it? Janet's nice. Similar approach to Janet for scripting. What do they do? Babashka is definitely the best analog to it. I haven't looked at Babashka. I haven't actually used it. Trev says, the first rule of Flux Harmonic is that we never use anything that already exists. Yes, that's the whole premise of Flux Harmonic from the beginning, is we don't use things that exist except for like low-level libraries that do the messy parts. And then everything else is just rewriting applications that already exist. Let's see. aka.ninja/blog/DSL for shell scripting. A native closure interpreter that starts fast. Do you have an example of any shell in here? I can't tell what this is telling me to do. I don't know. I don't think I like this thumbnail. So, you remember Ghostbusters 2? There was like the henchman of the demon guy that was in the painting. I don't mean to make fun of anyone, because I'm not making fun. I'm just pointing something out. This guy reminds me of him. I don't know if you've ever thought that yourself when you've seen him around on the internet. Anyway. The knights who say "ni," as in not invented here. Yeah, that would be me. Okay, DSL for shell scripting. Yeah, it's more like this. It's more like this, where you can like have the command parameters be symbols and then like unquote things. Like they're quoted by default and you can unquote them in line. I don't want to merge that branch yet because it's not entirely finished. Like it's like mostly done, but there's not a good way to get it up there yet. Let's see. It's pretty cool though. We'll show it another time. Anyway. Okay, so that's me rambling for an hour about the stuff I've been working on. So what's next? Well, finishing this. I want to finish the stuff because really the idea is like I need to get off Codeberg, okay? Nobody has sent me any message saying I got to get out of here, but the policy is up and I'm motivated to get out just because I want to do my own thing anyway, so might as well just get out. It feels more like a curated place for my own types of projects. It feels like the right place to be, so this is where I'm going to stick with. I'll just keep working on it. I definitely want feedback. I won't necessarily implement all the feedback, but I want people's feedback as they try to use it, because I will be pointing people here instead of Codeberg in the future. If people are using Sigil, that is. I know some people are using it here and there, but maybe all this is just in vain. It is kind of vain, actually. I mean, like the whole thing is quite vain. And I know that, but for me, working on projects is kind of a creative outlet. All this weird stuff is a creative outlet, even though the AI is doing most of the work. I know this, writing most of the code at least. I'm directing the output, you know. I'm applying my taste to it, the things that I want to make it do things. It's just not, it's not doing it all itself. So there is an element of creativity here. Alternative says, where can we sign up, David Will, for tier? The only thing that you might be able to sign up for at some point would be the hub. So Enclave is one of the sigil projects. Cool. Enclave is one of the sigil the hub, it could be a pub. I don't know. We'll have to think about what the subdomain should be. Enclave is an IRC v3 server, which is a bit more than just an IRC v3 server. It will be a place where we have chats, like maybe even the chat for the stream. I think it's highly likely the chat for the stream is going to be there. Ultimately, it's going to be its own place. You can use any normal IRC client to get there, but there is currently a PWA, progressive web application that is a really kind of like a nice modern client for Enclave, and there will be an embedded chat interface inside of Slate also. So you can either use the PWA or you can use Slate to get into the chat. But the chat isn't really the part that would matter so much. The part that would matter is the hub aspect of it, where with Slate, you can connect to the server, and then you have the Slate CLI on your individual machines that you want to get access to remotely, and you have that connected to the server also, and then you can actually edit your files remotely, deal with your terminals remotely. Lots of other things that we haven't really thought of yet, but the idea is that may be something that you would want to pay some kind of small subscription for, or get it as part of being a System Crafters Guild member or whatever. So that would be a membership tier thing that you could do. There may be other things too, but really the idea is that, you know, that's something that would actually have value. I think it's something that you can obviously self-host yourself too. If you want to put the Enclave server on a random server of your own, you'd be able to do the same thing, because it's not really anything special. It's just kind of, it's routing it over IRC currently through batch messages, JSON encoded batch messages, basically. But yeah, it's not something that a client would pick up on. I think a client would basically ignore those messages anyway. Point being, the IRC server can do more than just chat. It can proxy access to remote machines in a safe way, because by default, the room that you would be in to be proxied to your different machines, it would be a room that only you would have access to. And there's very strict access controls built into Enclave for this purpose. Also for agent orchestration, there's like a full API for registering bot accounts or agent accounts, where they can be long-lived, or they can have like a short time span or whatever. What I use it for, or will be using it for, is with my apiary MCP server, where there's a leader agent, which I'm talking to most of the day, that can then spin up workers that are other Claude instances, and they have short-lived bot accounts that all kind of join one IRC channel, and they communicate with each other. So I don't know, maybe that's something that people would be interested in trying too, but that's kind of more of a weird thing that I'm doing for myself. So I don't really know, like all this stuff needs to be implemented and then filled up. No, that's the wrong terminology. All these things need to be implemented and tested and worked through, so that I can actually see the end-to-end and know how to tell other people to use them. So eventually it would be easier to understand what the premise is of all this. It would be funny if one project would be named Coin and it would be written in Sigil. Well, Trev is trying to do that. Trev is trying to create a rug pull situation on the Sigil community, which is like 3 people. He's not really, but he has been working on a Bitcoin client for Sigil somewhere. Was it forge fed, by the way, where self-hosted isolated forges can connect? Yeah, that's the Federation protocol for that, which never materialized. That was supposed to be the thing that would save everything. You could have your own Forgeo instance and federate with all the rest, but right now they still don't do anything. Like, you can star other repos, but that's all. I don't really know, man. I don't know. We need sigil coins desperately, says Trev. Yeah, we sure do, don't we? And what are we going to do with the sigil coins, man? They got no monetary value. Just so you can go into the grocery store and tell the person at the checkout counter, you know what? I've got like 1,500 sigil coins. They'll be like, what's that? I'm like, you'll know one day, whenever it never has any value. Yet, sure. Oh, goodness. We need to harvest and hoard them. Yes. Can't even enter forge fed because, yeah, they're fed up. That was a terrible joke. Okay, anyway, I've given myself a headache now. So, yeah, there's just too many things, man. There's too many things happening. I need to, like, have, like, one page where I have everything listed to keep track of all the stupid projects I have. Oh, I made one of those. It's this. To keep track of all my stupid projects, thank you, Alternate Ved. You can pay off the LLMs. I don't know, it was Sigil Coin, not so much. It's hard to monetize federated infra, which is exactly why we need it. Yep. So let's see. Eventually, I'll get back to writing fun projects with Sigil, but I have to like solve my infra issues first, which I don't really have to. I just decided to do it. I am using Guix for everything. I'm using Guix for the main physical server and all the VMs that are getting set up in that, which is kind of cool. Let's see, what else? But Slate, definitely, I'm going to get back to that this week because it is pretty awesome. Did the Sigil user count grow? I mean, how would we even quantify that? From contributions? No. Loads of telemetry, yes. Here's the best way to see if there are Sigil users. I'll tell you right now the best way to see. The best way to see is to go to the releases page and go down and look at the paltry sum of people who click download. And this actually is me downloading it myself using Sigil CLI upgrades. So there's one download in today's release. Yesterday's release. Where is it? Expand downloads. One download. Expand the next release. Oh, there's 3 downloads and one on Mac OS. I think that was me, actually. The next one, 2 downloads. Wow. Who was that? Maybe it was me. Next one, 1 download. Another one on Mac OS. That was probably me. So you can see there's a huge user base of Sigil right now. Not really equal to the amount of work that my LLMs are putting into it, but it makes me happy. Okay, like I feel like I'm accomplishing some personal goals here, even though I haven't written it myself. I guess we already have lots of languages. Yes, this is why I don't really expect people to use it. I'm talking about it because it's a curiosity and it's something I'm working on, which I think is interesting, but I'm never trying to like actually promote people to use it. This is why you're not gonna see me posted on freaking Hacker News about Sigil or anything else, because I don't really care if people use it in the end. It's more about me using it. And then why would you put it on the internet? And like, why would you go to the trouble to make all these nice websites? Because like I said, it's like a creative outlet. You know, like it's like painting a picture and wanting to put it on the wall for people to see it. It's kind of like that kind of thing. Alternate says, it sounds pretty cool to own your own programming language. Well, it is for me, because I made it the way that I wanted it. Now, the question is, do I write any code in it? Alternate says, I was expecting a bit more growth. Well, I think that comes with not actually marketing it, you know? Like, I didn't really want to talk too much about it on System Crafters because it kind of competes with Guile in a way. It's intended to, because Guile does not do the things I want it to do as far as shipping applications is concerned. Lol, really to which part? The fact that I'm not promoting it? I mean, me talking about it on a stream with 10 people is not promoting it. Didn't notice? So let's see. Yes, no users. But I'm fine with that, you know? I got no problem with that. If people want to use it, they should use it. I think it would be great if people decided they wanted to use Sigil and try it out. I think that did not notice not talking about Sigil on System Crafter streams. I don't know. I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not. So the biggest chance of people using Sigil is through using Slate. I think Slate is pretty interesting, and that might be the thing that people will actually try to use. And then maybe that's the gateway drug into using Sigil itself, because Sigil is a good language, if I do say so myself. And you know, what I will say, I did talk about it a bit. I know I did, but I wasn't promoting it. I wasn't saying you should use this. I was just talking about it because I could not talk about it. Okay, I'm having fun. So what was I saying? I have a number of things distracting me right now. Rolling it back. It's enough with your sigil of approval. Slate and the usage of it. Thank you, Alternate Ved, for being my minder, my mind minder. Yes, Slate is a thing that people might actually use because it's pretty damn awesome. Okay, and it's only going to get more awesome. I mean, it's only been alive for 3 weeks. I'm going to spend a lot more time on it in the coming days here because I mean to start using it more. I didn't really use it a lot this week because I got so sucked into other stuff, but I need to be using it more. Oh, the thing I was going to say is that the actual runtime of the language, especially the natively compiled side of it, there's been some bugs this week, but for the most part, it's been remarkably stable for a while now. Like, running long-lived applications, you know, having it be fairly performant. You know, the garbage collection's working nice without too many hangs. The code is pretty fast, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. Like, the stability is pretty high, and a lot of things don't really need to change going forward. Like, there's some things that are being improved. Like, a lot of error handling stuff was broken this week in native builds, but I think as time goes on, it will be even more stable. So it will reach a point where you could write really good applications with it and have a good time. Is it as interactive as CL? Did not track much, to be honest. It is a lot better now after the last few weeks. I did a lot of work on that, but I don't write code that way with it very much, and it does need more work. So there is a REPL. There's even an in-REPL interface, an in-REPL package for Emacs you can use for connecting to running a sigil process and evaluating code in it, where you can do some live development type stuff. But what happened to all the people in the chat? It's just Alternate Ved and me now. I'm just talking to Alternate Ved. So it is possible to do that. And even it's possible in a game, like a game running at 60 frames per second. You can have it run. No, you should be talking. People should be talking. I think Trev went to go wash dishes is what happened. So yeah. Let's move on, because I think I'm losing people now because people are getting bored with me just rambling about Sigil the whole time. Roger's lurking. Sigil needs a killer app like Sigil Space Program. I guess you could make a Kerbal Space Program type thing in Sigil. So we had started last week on the mud, if we want to just kind of get back to that a little bit, working on the world design. Alternative says the stream's ending already. Yes, I guess everybody's getting tired here. We're all getting old, you know, run out of steam eventually. The main topic is over. People are like, yeah, okay, I've had enough, which is fine. So, as far as the mud is concerned, we started working on the actual like data model for the world last week, and we made a little bit of progress. But it was like right at the end. How was your day? Thank you for trying to inquire about that as a way to break the ice. So we could try to rebuild. Come on, where is it? Let's just do this. Did it get pushed? Let's see. Oh, I'm gonna end up having to put in my passphrase somewhere. There we go. Okay, looks like it did get pushed. That's good. So let's get back in here and I'm gonna upgrade Sigil too. So Sigil CLI upgrade to get some benefits. Yeah, I think there's a, is there a use? No, okay, whatever. Next, Sigil build. Actually, I need a Guix shell. Let me make this bigger. And rebuild the web side. I think that should be enough. Let's see if it succeeds. It's making progress. At least things build now. How is your SaaS life? How was your day? How's your SaaS life? That doesn't sound like a good question. I don't know if I like that question. Registry full. Interesting. I've never seen that before. The registry list is full. How does it happen? Oh, you know what? Excuse me. There's some new things we've been adding to make sure that certain types of errors are exposed, and I think this may be part of it. But it's just compiling anyway. And the build completes, thankfully. So maybe I can restart the app. Save one, modify buffer. Which one? Yeah, save it. Save failed. Fantastic. Okay. Trying to get over to the other screen here. Okay, here we go. So, I go into local home and projects code. No, 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 no. It was just Flux World, right? Flux, come on now, Flux World. No? Okay, that's where it is. Okay, so we got main here, and we also have game. Okay. So in theory, the key bindings should be working more reliably this time. That was the whole idea, is that the key bindings were sticking, and I couldn't use Control and Control P to move around in the buffer the way that you expect to in Emacs. So now that should be working. And it's not. Famous last words. I wonder if there's like a caching issue here. We'll have to see. So anyway, getting back into the actual game logic development, I think the last thing we did last week is inside of this file, we were messing with cookies so that we can have multiple people connected to the game at the same time. And we were picking up names of people based on when they join the game. So where was it? Home handler. So we pull the player ID off of the cookie. And if there is one, we send back the response. Otherwise, we pull the player name off of the front of the list and then change it. Basically consume it. So then I didn't finish this logic, it seems. So I think what we would want to do here is do that. Where's the match? Then I guess we don't need to do that. Maybe we don't even need to do that at all. How about this? This could just be a begin. Whoa. Control A, Control K are not working at the moment. I think that there's a caching issue going on here. So I'm going to put a begin in here like this. Try to indent that line, go to the end. Now they're working again. So we got the begin and then, excuse me, set cookie. Car player names, and then we want to set after that, set player names. Be the cooter of player names. I need to spell that correctly. Okay. So that will consume a player name. We are missing a matching parenthesis somewhere. There's that one, the if, and then the yellow. Why is it yellow and yellow? Okay, so that is the right one, it seems. All right. So that should set us up with a player name. We're setting it in the cookie to come back, so that should come back to the client side to be sent back again later. So now we have the player name. We actually need to set it here too. So we need to set, that doesn't work, does it? How are we gonna do that? Well, we pull it from player ID. So we got that. So we're setting the cookie in the response. That should be enough. Maybe I should actually print something out. Oh, I got player ID. Okay, got that. Now we can actually try to, no. We're in the terminal. Pull it down. Oh, there it is, right there, okay. Codeberg is still throwing 403s. Yeah, it was doing some weird stuff earlier. I couldn't even like create a new account. So let's see. In this one, I'm actually using Sigil to run it directly. So source run. I think that's right, right? What we were doing before? Yeah, localhost 8080. You can't actually install it anymore. Does that work at the moment anyway? It may not work perfectly. I'm having to build it myself at the moment. Did it work for you previously? Because that would be good if it did. All right, so we've got Flux World here. What did it write out? Player ID Steve. Now I'm gonna reload this. Okay, see, it still says Steve. Let's go and load up one in another window. Consuming name A. No. That's not right. Oh, did I write the, I wrote the, no wonder. There's no tilde there. We're gonna start that over. Got it, and we'll reload this page. It's Steve. We'll reload this page, and consuming name Steve. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Does it make sense? Let's try it again. Let me go to another incognito window. Okay, consuming name Angela. So that worked. Set cookie car player names. Set player names, Coder player names. Oh, I think Steve is already taken. That explains it. That actually makes a lot of sense. Bruce. I don't know, dude. That's the wrong name to use. I'm thinking of Bruce Wayne here. That's why they came to my mind. What is Peter? How about that? I should just put the names of the people who were in the chat. It did work. Same error as I get for Emacs package earlier. Okay, well, that's good. I would like to see it work for myself because I haven't tried to use it. I was trying to get it to work for that purpose, but I haven't actually used it in a while. All right. So it did consume the name correctly, but the page doesn't load. So what's going on with that? Is it because I set the cookie? If you have a Bruce, you should have a Sheila. Yeah, because the Australian names. So is set cookie breaking the response? Is that what's happening? Do I have to return the response? Let me look up the docs on this because I think I may have effed it up. Let's see, use sigil.org. Libraries, HTTP. No, it's in web. Web. All right. Cookies. Set cookie returns what? Returns new response with a cookie header added. So it's supposed to work. It's supposed to work. Oh, but I didn't do that, did I? I forgot. I have set at the end here, and the set is going to return undefined. So, oh, Control X, no kidding. Okay, so Control what, W? All right, got it. Now, whoa. The problem is I need to actually use the player ID first. So I'm just going to call set player ID, our player names. It did not. Okay, it did. Yeah, we're definitely on the old build. All right, so we got that now. We got player ID. We need to set player names, CUDA player names, and then we're setting player ID as player ID here. All right, that should be... This is just like the stupidest thing. I feel like this is so dumb to be writing code by hand now. Because you get to see the stupidity of the person writing the code. The simple, dumb mistakes. Is that a good thing? Steve, I'm not Steve. What is the variable? Oh, player. That's the one I need to set, not player ID. I think I need to do this a different way. The logic, I mean. Puzzled about why the let binding was being overwritten. Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was me being dumb. So set cookie response player ID. That's cool, but we need to consume the name. Actually, in either case, it needs to be set. I think that's what the problem is here. So first of all, do or player ID. I think we can do the same thing here. I mean, we can just return set cookie anyway. Wake up, Steve. Did it kill the line? Okay, it did kill the line. These things are happening. You just can't see them. So set player ID, car player names. I have to store an temporary on this anyway, so car player names. I still say this feels so stupid. It feels stupid to write code by hand now. So I'm gonna copy and paste this because, you know, that's what a good programmer does. Whoops. Okay. There we go. There we go. All right, so set consuming name, player ID, player names. Gotta fix that little line in there. We're gonna put P here. Player names, CUDA player names, and then we are going to return P. But then in this case, we're literally just gonna take whatever the player name is that is left. And we're gonna set it as the cookie. So why not? So let's see. Player or player ID, car player names, print player names. Okay, set cookie player. That seems right. But where is this blue coming from? That doesn't seem right. The set is there. I think there's too many parentheses. Trev says, is this stream still live or is it a VOD? Why? Is this boring? Are you telling me it's boring, Trev? All right, let's see. Thank you, alternate ved. Peter says, thank you, alternate ved. Oh, I just saw another message there. Hello. Is it live? Another Peter says, hello, is it live? That can't be right. Steve says foo. Oh, it's because the Peter name was taken already. So we're doing it based on cookies here, which is the wrong way to do it, but I just need to be able to test that. So let's close that, put it in another incognito window. Hello. No. Wrong. Why is it not writing out that it's consuming the name? Is it growing? What do you mean growing? 2 Peters now. We got a real problem here. It's not even telling me anymore that it's consuming the name. What happened? You're not supposed to have cookies in incognito mode. Let's get rid of that window too. Consuming name Peter. Okay, finally there's one. I think it's because the cookie is there. And because I had the there we go. All right, so anyway. Bad coding on my part. This is why I should let the LLMs do all the work, because apparently I'm not a coder. All right. So that kind of works. You can see now that there is an Angela and a Steve. Say hello, Angela. No. God, Jesus Christ. What's happening? Oh, what's happening is I'm setting the damn global variable. Okay, so that explains why it's happening. It all makes sense now. Where's Trev going? Later. He's selling to the Blizzard, yes. Good job, Trev. Good job. Man, this just feels so wrong to me now. Would it be better to immediately exchange a player ID from the request by a validated player from the model instead of letting it ripple further? A lot of things would be better to do right now, but my head is hurting from rambling about all the stupid stuff earlier, so the quality of my thinking is now degraded. It's cooking. What's cooking? My brain? Something is cooking my brain. Someone is cooking my brain. Vague. Is Sigil Coin ready though, Trev? Trev's gone. Trev is already cashing out. He's selling my brilliant ideas to Blizzard, apparently. It's on hold. IRC updates later than Twitch. Need to upgrade my Friday stream laptop. Wow. You have a Friday stream laptop too? All right, so music is live. Thank you, alternate ved, for not telling me that the music is not playing. Should we just vibe code this crap? I mean, like, do you really want to sit here and watch me write this code? Maybe if the editor wasn't fighting with me at the same time, because it's my crappy editor, that it would be easier. Time to do the dishes and use message of the day. Good job, Trev. Good job. I'll have to do the dishes too, unfortunately. In the end, everyone has to do the dishes. All right. Well, to put a cap on the stream. Alternative Best says, I'm vibe coding this programming language for me to write it with pleasure. Yeah, it is a sort of a strange thing to do, to vibe code a whole programming language to be the language you want it to be, and then like not even want to write the code in it. But I think I just need to write more code. But the only time I'm writing the code is on the stream, so it's not really enough. Maybe I just need to pick up a project to write for real. Once I get through all of my ideas for things I wanted to spit out for me, I'll do that. Scheme is a nice language. There's a reason why I want to use it, you know? I like Scheme a lot. I like the patterns of scheme. Can we just write all the libraries and stuff and then maintain the assembly language? What do you mean? What are you talking about? Can we have the LLM maintain the assembly language? After all that spitting, it might not be worth to write anything anymore. You mean like spitting all the code out? I don't know. Like, I question the value of writing things by hand, except for like if you have something that's really like mission critical and you need to make sure that there's no mistakes. Why do we need a nice language at all? I agree with you, Trev. I agree. Ah, boy. Eventually we'll figure it out. Like, we'll figure out what the right flow is here. Because, you know, I'm talking a lot about projects that I'm making progress on in the week, but I should probably spend less time on that and actually write more code. How would you get the practice and thinking required for writing stuff by hand, then write mission critical stuff? Well, I mean, if LLMs hadn't showed up, then that would be the right way to do that. But you do make a good point. I mean, how's anybody gonna like learn to write code well and perfectly if everybody's using LLMs? Roger says, does Sigil have partial function application and currying? Scheme is great, but cut makes me sad. Why does cut make you sad? I do have currying, and it is based on cut and cute, but I think I implemented it differently because I tend to do that with things that I didn't like the design of. Let me see. Sigil, FP. No, not tags. Oh, yes. Codeberg is having issues at the moment, so we may not be able to get it to load the page correctly. I do have currying in this library somewhere. It's just a syntax. I also have a pipeline operator that's based on the chain spec. They're blacklisting people using LLMs. I think they're having an outage right now. Performance degradation for unauthenticated traffic. Severe spikes of unauthenticated traffic. Let's make David think of more existential questions about programming and purpose. I mean, I can ramble all day. People using LLMs or blacklisting Codeberg. I think it's more like that. Who knows? Who knows? Degraded performance. I'm not logged in, so that's probably what the problem is here. Oh boy. It's a way to call throw a 403 immediately. Yeah, that's right. Someone needs to pull the plug on that. Or plug it in, I guess. So anyway, that's it. I don't know. I mean, I feel like there was a lot of rambling. It wasn't very focused or coherent today. Sorry for that. There's just too many things happening at the same time, and I'm like maybe a little bit spread thin. Not sure, but I'm gonna have some time over the next couple of weeks to shore some of these things up, and by the time I get back, it's gonna make a lot more sense. I think you'll see a lot more things happening that are worthwhile, and maybe Slate itself will be more worth using. So I think that would be fun. I'm not exactly sure when I will be back though. So definitely 2 weeks I won't be here. The third week, the week after the 2 weeks, I'll be gone. Actually, we have a program that's made for this job, okay? It's called Emacs. So The 7th and the 14th, I'm definitely not going to be here, but I might be here on the 21st to stream, okay? That's the way it looks. So maybe August 21st I'll be back, and I'll have some things to say, but if not then the 28th, which is a long time, but that's the way it is. I don't know. You know, in Greece, people take off the whole damn month of August for vacation, so what can I do? Schools are out, daycares are out, everything's out, so you might as well just be out in Greece in August. That's the way it works. Have a nice holiday. Don't sweat it unless it's really warm. Oh, it's gonna be. It's gonna be. I'm gonna be fighting mosquitoes and humidity, which is not gonna be fun. Sweat it, but nicely. Yes. Fire up my IBS. Are you gonna stream for me now, Trev? I'll give you the key. You want to stream? Who wants to stream on my channel while I'm gone? That could be a terrible proposition, but that's okay. I mean, it might be interesting. I can just watch it and laugh, you know, to see what happens. Just, you know, just for people to see how easy this job is, you know, just sitting here in front of the camera and bullshitting for almost 2 hours because I can't get the stream up right. Your ABS. All right. Anyway, thank you all for your time and attention. I really appreciate you being here today. Those of you who stuck around, I hope it was interesting. I hope that maybe it's, you know, some cool stuff coming. Yeah, like I said, I'll be back in maybe 2-3 weeks. Until then, I hope you all have a nice weekend, nice summer, and happy hacking. See you next time.